Welcome to Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Sean Anderson, and on this edition of Coach's Corner, a little bit later we'll have Pohai track head coach Lee Guess. And right now, starting off this first segment of Coach's Corner, we have the coach of the Lady Cat golf team, Coach John Spore, is with us. Coach Spore, thank you for being here.
Well, glad to be here. I always like to talk about golf.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's a big opportunity for the Lady Cat golfers and in hosting the state tournament right here in Ponca City, May 3rd and 4th at the Ponca City Country Club. But before we get to that, talk to John Spore about, of course, as you're watching this, the East Regionals in Broken Arrow has already happened. So we can't go into the future and find out how the team did this. But as we're taping this show and this segment with Coach Spore, the regionals hasn't happened. You're getting ready to head to regionals. What's your hope for the regionals? Of course, that's kind of a silly question. You want to win it.
Well, it's always our goal, and I'm sure it's a goal of all 6A schools, is to get a full team of 5 players into the state tournament. We haven't done that for about 3 years now, and we're anxious to get a full team back. We're going to leave, in fact, today on Monday to go to Broken Arrow, spend the night. So we're there first thing in the morning. We tee off early, first round, and play regionals tomorrow. And they take the top 6 teams, and we have been 7th in previous tournaments compared to the other East teams. We have come in 7th in 3 different tournaments. So we have our work cut out for us, and trying to work our way up at least one slot to get into the state tournament. I was encouraged last week or 2 weeks ago, we went to Oklahoma City and played in a tournament down there and shot a really good round. In fact, the best round that the Ponca City girls team has shot in about 15 years.
Wow.
Really shot a good round down there, so hopefully that's a carryover to the tournament tomorrow. And I might also add, it's spring in Oklahoma. The weather hadn't been the best. Now, we haven't had really bitterly cold weather this spring, but a lot of rain. Been to a lot of tournaments that's muddy and wet and no sun. Now, last 2 weeks ago when we went to Oklahoma City, it was the first decent day. It was in the 80s and golfing weather.
Right. Well, what about the course? And I know as you're watching this, the regionals already happened. Tell us about the Broken Arrow course. Do your girls know what to expect?
Well, we went over and played a tournament there earlier this year, played in a little tournament over there, and then went back last week on Tuesday, exactly a week ago, and played a practice round to get used to the course. It's sort of tricky. It's got a lot of water on it, a lot of hazards. So almost every hole you have to deal with hazards and water and this, that, and the other. It's really important that you hit the ball straight, and not necessarily a big hitter's golf course. You've got to sort of place the ball off the tee box. It's a difficult course, I think, for girls, and probably for boys too. But because of that, it will play difficult.
Yeah. So the state tournament, if you get in the top 6 of the East Regional, you'll be in the state tournament, which is May 3rd and 4th. Regardless whether the Pohai Lady Cats have a team, and that would be nice to have the team in the state tournament. But looking for some individuals. Tell us about some individuals that you hope and expect will be in that state tournament.
Well,
next
we
week.
had last year we had 2 individuals, Sydney Herman and Megan Wicker, make it as individuals to the state tournament, and they're back this year. Megan's a senior and Sydney's a sophomore, so you would hope, you would expect, and they have both been playing pretty well, so you would hope that they get in the state tournament. I would say most of the good girls are on teams that will make it, So that may make it a little easier on the individual. What they take 6 teams and then 6 individuals that aren't on those 6 teams.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm optimistic that we'll have at least 1 or 2 representing, if not the full team. And I think if we play like we're capable, like we played it in Oklahoma City a couple weeks ago, that we should qualify and be here for our home course in front of our home crowd, representing Ponca.
All right. Well, you can support the Ponca City High School Lady Cat golfers. May 3rd and 4th, you can go out to the country club and watch the state tournament. Of course, certainly hoping that the Lady Cat golfers are in there as a team. If not, cheer on the individual Pohai Lady Cat golfers in the state tournament May 3rd and 4th. Then the season's done. Tell us about the off season. What do your girls do in the off season? They just get out there and play as they can?
Well, yes, we don't have a well organized summer program. It would be nice if girls played year round.
Right.
But I've got softball players, and I've got volleyball players, and I've got this, and
Sure.
people from other sports that they pick up a club for 3 or 4 months out of the year and play golf. Obviously we'd like for them to play year round, but
Right.
you know, some choose to do other things as well, and that's perfectly fine. But that would be what we want. And they've also, in the past, until this year, it was unlimited as far as practice time. Year round, in golf, you could practice every day for as many hours as you want. They put a restriction on us this year. As soon as the state tournaments are over, we're back down to, as far as school-related practice time, they're only allowed 1 hour a day up until December 1 again.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
for all summer and all fall, we're limited, which we didn't used to be.
Right. All right. Well, Coach John Spore, thank you. Good luck at East Regionals. Again, as you're watching this, the East Regionals have already happened, and certainly hoping for the best, and have a good trip to Broken Arrow.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. That's Coach John Spore of the Lady Cat golf team, and stay close because Mr. Lee Guess, the Pohai head track coach, will be with us on this edition of Coach's Corner next.